Hey guys, I'm back with another book talk. Anyways, this book was my book club's read for the month of June, and it is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi, and I have had this book sitting on my shelf for a while. I guess right after I joined BookTube, I went on a really book buying spree. It was awful. That's why my TBR is so gigantic. And this is one of the books I read because I've heard some people say absolutely fantastic things about the series and Tahereh's writing, and so I was like, I gotta read it. And on top of that, one of my favorite quotes is actually from this book, so now I don't feel so guilty for it being my favorite quote because I haven't read the book before. Anyways, I really loved this story. I loved the whole storyline. I loved the characters. Maybe not Juliet. She was a little bit annoying towards certain parts of the book, but you know, I could overlook it. I definitely loved Adam. He is some disrupted gorgeous boy. I think he's about to be added to my list of book boyfriends now after where I am in this series currently. It just makes him 10 times more attractive the way he looks after his little brother. As we all know, us girls, our hearts melt a little bit when we see a guy who likes kids. He's playing with kids, he's talking to them. Like, it's just like the cutest thing and hottest thing, sexiest thing like ever to just like witness. And oh my god. Then we have Warner, and I know everybody seems to ship Warner and Juliet. I don't like Warner. I understand he's the bad guy. He's the bad boy, and us girls, we seem to always like the bad boy. We really shouldn't. But I don't understand. I don't feel like he really likes Juliet. Like, he really has feelings for her. He sees her as something he can use as a weapon against his enemies. And, you know, maybe he's just creating this fake love, because as we kind of get from his background is that he really grew up in a loveless home. His father is the ruler of the reestablishment, and, you know, there wasn't a lot of love shown. And you can definitely feel that in Warner, and he feels like he gets a connection with Juliet because they kind of grew up the same way, but really not, because Juliet still, you know, she doesn't want to be the way she is. Warner does. He wants to be in power. He wants to take everything down. He wants everything to go his way. He's ready for destruction and death, and Juliet doesn't want to harness the ability she has. I definitely do not like Warner. I do not like him and Juliet together. I do not ship them. I probably will not ship them, and I will probably be the only person ever that does not ship them, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, but I don't care because I don't like Warner. And then I don't know why, but he just, like, for some reason, like, what I had in my head when I was reading, like, with Warner scenes, I picture him as, like, Christian Grey. Like, not exactly like the actor, or, you know, some of his mannerisms, and, you know, I don't know why, just some of the things he does, it just reminds me of Christian Grey. And then on top of all this, I hate the 50 Shades series. I read the first 2 books and they were awful, and I will not finish it. The movie was slightly better. I still hated it. I doubt I'll go see the rest of the movies in theaters unless my best friend drags me, because she's a huge fan of the series. But I think that's another huge turnoff I have with Warner, is that because I just kind of picture him as Christian Grey, like him and Christian Grey are like parallels in different worlds, I guess. So I just kind of see him as that, and so that just kind of like turns everything. So that's probably one of the main reasons why I don't like Warner either. And then we have Kenji. There's really not much of Kenji in this book till towards the end, when it starts leading up to everything, and I wish we would have seen more of him in the beginning of the book, because I definitely like him. He is the comic relief in this story, and I love boys who can make me laugh, so I definitely enjoy the comic relief characters in, you know, books. So he's definitely up there with some of my favorite characters. I also like, though, that he does have a serious side to him. Like, he is well known and well respected at this Omega point where they end up in the end of the book, and he can be serious. He does take things seriously. It's not all fun and games, but he tries to make light of what an awful situation the world is in at this point. And so I definitely love Kenji. I loved this story. I really did. I found myself absorbed in it, and I really did not want to put it down. I was reading it while I was in Mexico on vacation. I really didn't get much reading done in Mexico. But anyway, so I also was reading it when I got home, and then I was reading it at the airport when I was getting ready to leave for Indiana to visit family. And I had, probably 30 pages left in the book while we were sitting in the airport waiting to board a plane. Sitting in the airport waiting to board our plane, and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I need the second book. I'm almost done with the series. Like, I gotta find it. So we went and tracked down the bookstore in the airport, and they didn't have the second book, which was a huge disappointment, and I actually ended up waiting till I got back from Indiana to go purchase the next book. But I loved it so much, like, I was ready to go pick up the next book and make sure I had it with me for vacation. Too bad I didn't, but I did have another book that my second cousin actually gave to me last summer when I went to visit them, and so I started reading that, and that's actually really, really good. Yeah, there will definitely be a book talk about that when I'm finished. I really absolutely love this series. I love Tahereh's writing. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just love it. Like, it's so easy to read, and I just love it. Like, I really don't know how to explain this. It's just so beautiful, and it's kind of like, I feel like it's like when I read John Green. That's how I feel when I read this book, and I love it. I definitely love how she really did incorporate, like, the title of the book is Shatter Me, and she used different conjugations of the word shatter within this series, and it really kind of brought back to the title of the book and how it really relates to Juliet. Like, I really, really love that. And on top of that, I definitely... Oh, there's a Polaroid of my dog in this book. I didn't even realize that. Look how cute she is. She's, like, really fat and old and deaf and, like, partially blind, but she's my baby. I really, really loved how she did the crossed out type writing within the book. Like, I just loved it. I don't know why. I just thought it was really, really unique how, like, this is the stuff that Juliet is thinking, but she crosses out because she knows she's not supposed to be thinking about it, and she's, like, correct herself or whatever, but that's truly what she thinks, and I love it. I know, I really love writers who have unique styles. That's why I love Ellen Hopkins, the way she writes in lyric form. I loved Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl because of the way that Jesse Andrews wrote it. I just love how authors bring new writing styles to the publishing world. Like, it's amazing, and I definitely love that because it's nice and refreshing to see something like you haven't seen done before. However, this book slightly does have a downfall, and I really didn't realize it till I was talking to my cousin, my cousin-in-law. And it was one night I was at my aunt's house, I was at my aunt's girlfriend's house, and I was sitting in my room and I was reading, and my second cousin and his wife were staying there with us too, and he came in and he's talking to me, and he looks at my book and he's like, let me guess, it's dystopian. He was like, it's set in a post-apocalyptic world. And I was like, yes. He's like, female character? Main character? I was like, yes. There's a boy she's in love with. Yes. There's a bad boy. There is a bad boy. But, he just kind of guessed everything that happened within the story without even having to read it. Because it's sad that all of YA is so kind of predictable in a certain sense. Like, the setting and, like, the post-apocalyptic version of the world may be different, but it's still kind of, like, sad and disappointing that every book is kind of like, kind of like a repeat or reverberation of another story. Like, a lot of stories, they're set in post-apocalyptic worlds. They have a main female character. They have two boys she's in love with that she has to pick between. There's the good boy. There's the bad boy. It's all the same. And, the girl has some type of power. And it's kind of sad. But, still gonna read it. But, maybe we should try to freshen up the pool a bit with the stories. I'm just rambling now, and I don't really know what's going on. I am sorry. I'm just really not feeling myself right now. I have been sick for 2 weeks while I'm filming this video, which will probably be posted, like, weeks after I've actually filmed this because I'm an awful person. But yeah, so I'm just kind of, like, out the window. Anyways, overall, I rated this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm still debating on whether or not to add it to my favorite shelf because my favorite shelf is getting a teensy bit full, but by the time this goes up, I'll probably have already moved into my dorm room. So, yeah, we'll reevaluate that situation later. I believe I should put the playlist I listened to when I was reading like the first half of this book down below if you want to go listen to it. Check it out. Follow me on 8 Tracks if you really, really want to. I have like one mix, and it's like a Christmas mix, and it's really stupid, so don't listen to it. But yeah, you could definitely follow me and listen to all my types of music, which I don't know if you'd like. But anyways, so I'll see you guys next time with a book talk, top 5 Wednesday, or a tag video. Until then, I'm Chrissy. Goodbye!